Hi and welcome to this week's project, something else slightly different. It's New Year's Day today, just finished work and got home and I still haven't done a video for you for tomorrow. Christmas just was a bit busy, but I'm sure you all understand that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a bit of casting and I'm just going to do a bit of talking. This video probably is going to be quite long. So if long videos are not for you, you're probably better to switch off now. But for those that do quite like it, this is just really an average evening in the room that I cast in. Now I don't normally cast on this table, I normally cast in the corner there, but I want to be actually able to talk to you today. So I'm going to do a bit of talking, I'm going to do some casting. There's not really going to be an end result picture of these. I may shove something up on Instagram, pictures of them after. Just going to do a simple, it's just oak and Melliber. Just going to do a couple of slabs of pen blanks there. I'm going to do another little box. I've had this little piece of wood for a little while now, so I actually had to tape that plastic container up because it had a crack in it. So just doing a bit of casting while I'm talking, and obviously it's the 1st of January 2019, so cheers to you all and Happy New Year. Hope it's a happy, healthy one for the next 12 months. I've been on exactly 2 years this week was when I first started taking it serious, the YouTube thing, and every week I have put out a project video since then. There's not one that I've missed. I've never even been late, so as you can imagine I was a bit uptight to make sure that I get this video out for you tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And the project that I really actually hope to have up for you is not quite finished, so I thought I would do this. And I also wanted to talk about that just the last 2 years, because it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I love every minute of what I do. 2 years ago I don't think I'd even really used resin, so I was using wood projects, and I think I just had the lathe probably at that point. In fact I was afraid of it. I had no idea what I was doing with it at all. So it's been really great, but 2018 has been a brilliant year for everything. All those that followed my journey in woodworking will realise that I've been setting up a small business, and it's all about where the hobbies took me, really. I've let it just flow and I've just followed with it. I've changed direction just as I feel. If I don't enjoy doing something, I've moved to something else, and there's never been a set direction at all with any of it. I've just gone how I want to, and it's worked for me. I now have the small business selling the pen blanks and different little turned objects. I try to sell, at least some of what I've got, because if not, I am never going to fit in this room, because the stuff is mounting all the time. Now I remember at the beginning of last year I spoke about some projects that I did want to do, and I didn't actually achieve, when I look back, I didn't achieve any of those. It's furniture, and I still have the wood and it's still ready to go on, but it was going to turn into a really expensive project and I just couldn't afford to fund it. So it's never happened. It's still there, and maybe one day I'll get round to the tables, the 2 tables. I'll probably definitely get round to the lamp table, but the coffee table is a very expensive project in resin. So I never really got round to those and never got round to furniture baking, but I think I achieved so much more myself out with that. I didn't get as many bandsaw boxes during the year up as I wanted, and in fact the video that I wanted to go out this week is that. But I've just tried to move with it, and a lot of you have stuck with me right from the start of this 2 years ago, when this was all brand new, and about all the learning as I went on. So today I'm going to look back. It's like I say, it's been good. A few projects I didn't like, but some I absolutely loved. And I'm going to do a bit of pouring at the same time, because if not, we'll be here all night. I need 300 mils for each of these, and then I shall talk about the colours and stuff. But this is about an average what I do. I either do 3 slabs in an evening, or, you know, I'll do maybe 3 or 4 of this type of thing. So usually I like to turn about 18 blanks in a night, and then I don't feel like things are going too slow. So hope the sound is alright in here, because there's a lot going on obviously. So we'll get some resin in. But the biggest thing probably that happened to me this year was the amount of people I got to know. I don't think really 2017 I really mixed much with the maker community. In all honesty, I didn't really know it was there until I knew there was some shows and stuff like that, but I'd never really thought about other makers. In fact, I just seen them as people on television mostly, and, you know, people I look up to. So I never actually expected to meet any of the makers at any point, and never planned to. I'm not big on going to the shows, because where I live it's, you know, it's a long way to get to any of the shows. So the big excitement of the start of last year was the very first Maker Central. And I think in January last year I had 2,000 subscribers then, and I was doing really well at that point. I mean, for me it was a massive step getting to 100, and then, you know, 1,000, and then getting to 2,000. Really, I didn't think it would grow much more after that, because I didn't really truly understand why people would watch me. But as it turns out, a lot of folk have, and I'm very thankful for everybody that has followed me. Let me get these in. So at the start of last year, what the aims were for the furniture and stuff like that, and then starting to get stuff up onto Etsy. Now Etsy's quite an expensive platform to sell your stuff on, as there's probably a lot of yous that will watch this that sort of will understand that, because the fees are quite dear on there. So, but anyway, Etsy's been brilliant to me, and like I say, it's been my best year yet, and I'm in year 2 of what I consider to be a 5-year plan. So far I'm very happy. Now normally when I cast I have a mask on, but I can't talk to you and wear the mask, because the mask that I have, you would never hear me. Okay, so that's those poured. Got some little silicone stirrers here. I should cut stuff out when I can in this video, but just wanted to take you along with it really. So yeah, at the beginning of the year, I've got a little note here of some of the stuff, because there's some stuff I don't want to forget to talk about. But the plan was for furniture and getting stuff up on Etsy, and I was still very new into pen blanks. In fact, I'm still very new. I'm learning all the time with pen blanks. I think it's something that you just continue to learn about, and I wasn't great with colours at the start, and I only really started to get some really great results when I started taking some risk with some colours, and got some really exciting results with different pen blanks and different effects that you could get with them. Most of what I do I don't think is particularly unique. I think if you cast pen blanks, we all pretty much cast the same. We may have different techniques of stirring or not stirring, or the temperatures or whatever. Even temperatures, what a learning curve that was. I think it took me about 8 months to suss it. And that was, you know, a lot of other videos I watched to try and do that, and podcasts, and Turncast, I think that's a great podcast to listen to. And I learned a lot from these other casters on, you know, you think, oh, you get your resin, you mix it up, you add your colours, you shove it in, but there's a lot more to it than that sometimes. You know, if you want different effects and you don't want colours to blend, you need to actually leave them to a point where they won't blend. So I had all that to learn, as well as the resins that I was using. I've got a series coming up in January actually, I'll let you know that, and it's all the equipment I use. I'm going over everything. I'm going to show you everything I use. I'm going to go back through all the resins I use and have used, not just now but stuff in the past. Just basically with my opinions on it as well. I mean, everybody's got their own favourite resin, you know, so you have to find out what you're comfortable with. The one thing I will say, if you're new to casting, the easiest thing to cast with is epoxy. It's the most forgiving resin. The polyurethanes, they're a lot more temperamental. They don't like moisture in any way, and you know, they're beautiful. They give you beautiful castings, but there's a lot more work that goes into those sometimes. And there's the pot time that you have for, you know, if I'm mixing 4 or 6 colours into a blank, I have very limited time. I can do it, but I could only do one or 2 trays at a time, and I have to make sure that I couldn't do it live. You know, a lot of them do it live. I don't think at this stage I could do it live, because the resin would probably cure in the pot, so I'd be too busy yakking. These are just silicone spoons, by the way, that I've got. But yeah, it's been a massive learning curve. Continue to learn, and I hope I never stop learning, because if I stop learning it means that I'm not really gaining anything. So I make mistakes all the time. You don't see a lot of mistakes, because a lot of the mistakes are just in my own time. I tend to cast in here 4 nights a week, if possible, normally, just to keep the stock of pen blanks up. I thought January might have been a little bit quieter, so I did all the preparation for the Christmas, but I hadn't really thought about the fact that I needed to stop over Christmas and New Year, because, you know, I have to spend time with the family too. So, you know, you can't forget the people that you've got around you, and sometimes I can get a bit sucked in and forget that. I just get so into my zone here. So the bigged video this year was the Pinecone video, which came out in March. I had a look a couple of days ago just to get the numbers ready for this video, and it was 270,000 views on that video. See, when I made that Pinecone box, I never ever thought for a second that it would be as popular as it has been. I really didn't. I didn't see that coming at all. So it was a big surprise. I mean, I liked it, but I'm not the first person to do a Pinecone box. You know, there is other Pinecone boxes out there. So yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. And then it was October, that video, somebody, you know, the DIY and craft people on Facebook, they contacted me to ask if they could share it. And there's no benefit to me from them sharing it. You know, I don't get paid or anything for those videos or the views or anything like that. But I thought to myself, well, you know, not many people come to the YouTube channel, and maybe more people will get to see it. It's been very successful on YouTube, so maybe if more people got to see it, I didn't even think it would draw in people to YouTube, and it doesn't. Those type of videos don't draw people in. But I've got a lot of custom sales from the result in that. But then that video's had 10.5 million views now, and there's no way I could complete 10.5 million Pinecone boxes, or you would probably never see me again. So I have done, I'm actually fully booked for January and February. It's not many boxes because the boxes take quite a long time to make and cast, but I'm hoping to get quite a few done for folk. So that's ongoing. But that video went really well, and just shows you, because sometimes the least expected video does really well. So back to the casting. So I've got my 3 pots here. In this one here, I've made all these blanks before, but they're sold out, so I wanted to make some more. It's Melibur here, and it's going to be blood red, teal, phoenix orange, sunshine yellow. I'm just about out of sunshine yellow, so I'm hoping there's enough for tonight. In this one here, it's blaze orange, lime green, phoenix orange and sunshine yellow, but it's got the honeycomb in it and it's oak. That's also another blank that I've already made, but I thought I'd make that one up. And I haven't actually decided. I think it might be a blue and white for that. Blue and white, my favourite colours. So I did decide on Paradise Blue and just the normal white to keep it nice and a clean looking white, whereas the pearly stuff sometimes doesn't, I don't think it looks that clean. So yeah, going back, so where are we? Have a look at my list. Then we had Make a Syndrome. Well, what an event that was. I had never ever experienced anything like that event. To get to meet all the people that I watch for a start, that was so exciting. As you all know, I'm a massive fan of Heath Knuckles' YouTube channel and Bobby Duke, and to get to actually speak to both of them was pretty amazing. And I can't tell you how nice both of them are. They are they're just such nice folk. You know, they're very humble of what they've achieved on YouTube, and you know, it made me like them even more, to be quite honest with you. But also to get to meet some of you that watch, that was really great. Other makers, so many other makers that also watch me, and yeah, and everybody else. It was just really good, and I got to meet them all from the House of Resin, and you know, that just happened, the House of Resin thing. You know, I buy everything from there, and I always have done. I couldn't afford the Alumilite resin when it first came into the country, because it was that's the Alumilite the amazing clear cast. I found it really expensive. I didn't have a lot of money at the time when I started the YouTube channel and the casting and stuff like that. And one of the ideas about selling the stuff was really to make the money in order so that I could buy the equipment I wanted and buy more resin so that I could make more stuff. So, and then you sell it because you ain't got enough places to put it all. So it's sort of the whole circle of the way I had done things just worked out so well. And House of Resin have been, you know, brilliant. I like Stuart and the whole team. They're all just really nice folk. And although none of them really do casting, because Metal Clays and House of Resin are the same company, but they wanted to have the resin part in House of Resin, which they're hoping to get fully set up on that website. So Metal Clay, they do like the silver clays, and I don't know much about all of that, but that's their area, you know. So going into resin was a whole new area for them. So it's been, you know, a big learning curve all round. But you know, they managed to get the amazing clear casting from Alumilite, you know, cheaper in the big containers than I could buy any other epoxy in the country. And that, yeah, that was brilliant, because you know, I don't get my resin for free. I buy my resin, but I support their company, and they help me out every now and again. So that's how it works with us. When it comes to my favourite resin, the epoxy, amazing clear cast is my favourite. Always has been, and I'll probably always use it as long as I can still get it in the country. at a reasonable price, because it has to be cheap, because even though I do make money through my pen blanks to support my hobby now, you know, that's limited as well. So right, you get quite a lot of time with this resin. By the time it heats up to 130, it'll probably be near an hour. I normally start to pour at 120, because from that point on I've got to be quite quick, because it heats from 120 to 130 very quickly. I use these little cups because they're just handy. I just got these ones from Amazon. I'll put a link in below. They're nice little small ones. They're 4 ounce ones. So yeah, Maker Central. So it was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. And socially, I'm not a real social person. I don't think a lot of YouTubers are. That's why we spend so much time in our shed. We're not overly social. I mean, I always pretty much kept myself to myself. I have a lot of friends and that through work, and I meet people there, but I always chose to just come and do my hobby, but never really had anybody around me apart from my dad and a couple of friends that sort of got the making thing. So meeting people online was brilliant, because I can now talk to people. I mean, the maker community is massive. Yeah, and I now have that in common. I can go and talk to them, or if I've stuck with something, I can go and ask them something. Or it's a brilliant community. Right, you're probably finding I'm cutting in and out of this video because I'm trying to keep it as short as possible, which will never happen. Right, and that's those two for that. So this will already start to be heating up. I'll take a couple of these for this one. Yeah, and now I'm going to Maker Central now this year. I shall be going again. And I shall be on, I think I'm on the second stage with Mr. Peter Brown and Zach Higgins and Jim Overton. So that was an amazing honour to be asked to go with them, because I ain't nothing compared to any of them. So to get to do a question and answer thing with those was brilliant. So, and I met Peter last year at Maker Central, and he's a great bloke. And you know, I follow Zach and talk to him through Facebook and stuff like that, so I'm really looking forward to it. And Jim, I know Jim, he's been really brilliant support to what I've been doing for a long time, and he's also very talented at what he does. So yeah, so I'll be doing that, and then I'm also going to be on the House of Resin stand. It's not all been announced that yet, so not even I'm that sure of when, but I know that I'll be on there both days. Now that the Christmas is over, I will be actually making some plans on what I'm going to do there, but I'm not going to tell you any of that until the time. I'm really hoping I'll be able to meet a lot of you there. I know there's a lot of people that just can't get over it. It's so expensive, the flights to get in from America. I think it was amazing that so many makers are coming back this year to do it all again. But I'm hoping to have a little bit more video footage this year, maybe. And there'll obviously be lots of photos. And also I use, as most of you know, with my pen turning, I use Taylor Murfield's kits. I don't use his solely, but I use them a lot. So I'm also going to be going on to his stand, I think, but there's nothing really particularly arranged for that. So there might be a possibility that I'll be down there, but I'll see closer to the time about that. I think now that the Christmas and stuff is over and done with, I think there'll be more arrangements happening, but yeah, so that's going to be, it was a major event of last year for me, and it's going to be for this year. So that's May, and I've got all that time off. I've got the tickets, the hotel's booked, and so is the flights. So because I'm going to fly from here, because it's from on the Highlands of Scotland. Obviously, it's 10 hours from here down to Birmingham drive, and yeah, I drove both ways the last time, but I'm flying this time. It works out just as the same price to fly as it does to drive, really. So that was then, and then what else happened? Well, the Makers Make It Happen. That's with BuzzFizz and Hippie Noodle. They did their tour of the UK. That videos are still running for that. Can't say too much about that because the video of when they came here hasn't been released yet. So that happened brilliant, because it's the first time really I've had anybody from that world anywhere close to me here. I mean, there's a couple of folk in Scotland that I've met up through YouTube, but and there's a couple of people close, but I'm miles away from any of them. So yeah, that was nice. They came all the way up here. It was great to show them the area, and I think they enjoyed it. I think they did. Then we got to well, I was part of Makers Showdown for Dave G Designs. That was great fun, because it when you actually do a collaboration with or a project, it puts you out your own sort of comfort zone, because I had to make something that spinned, obviously, and something using string, and I think I was 2 weeks trying to think of what I was going to do, and then in the end I decided a sort of Saturn type thing, and it just made me do something totally different. Really enjoyed doing the project. Yeah, and you know, somebody won that, and it went off, and you know, they let me know that they were really happy with it, so that was nice too. So I did that. We stopped the journey in wood turning. I just felt I couldn't go any further with it, to be honest, at the time, and I know a lot of people were contacting me, you know, a bit upset, but I just felt at that time it was the right time to stop it. I felt I was coming out with the same stuff every week, and I didn't think there was much benefit to it. I'd started to not enjoy making it as much, and I think as soon as stuff starts to be not enjoyable, it's time to stop it, because you're not putting your whole into it. And anything I do, I have to put 100% of myself in, or really it's there's no point in me doing it, because you'll be able to tell on camera anyway. I think you can always tell if somebody's a bit bogged under, or they're not enjoying what they're doing, or they don't like the project. I think you can always tell, especially people who regularly watch that same person. You'll tell straight away that their heart's not in that project. So it had to stop, as much as I felt really disappointed for those that really enjoyed it. And I actually quite enjoyed it myself. You know, it was just, I just quite enjoyed going live and babbling on. But anyway, it had come to an end at that point, and I did actually hope to increase my project videos. That was one of the things that I did hope to do. But that never happened neither, because obviously I think it was about September the last update one, and then I started sponsoring the podcast, Makers International podcast. I love that podcast, watch it every week. In fact, I almost felt like when I met Richard at Maker Central and Jamie and all that, it was like they were like TV people, famous. Because I love the podcast, and when you really admire people, it was quite a big deal meeting them. I was actually scared to say hello to Richard because he's so tall. And now I laugh because I'm in touch with them all the time, and it's funny how you view things, isn't it? Right, that's our 4 mixers in each, and the 2 for this one here. So now is the matter of just checking temperatures and waiting for everything to heat up. We're only at 70, it's Fahrenheit. I've got it on here because I'm going to go between 120 and 130 Fahrenheit. It's only sitting at 75 at the minute. So we have got quite a way to go yet before we are anywhere near ready to pour that. So let's get back to the list. I think that's about it, right enough. August, I did the 5,000 subscribers giveaway, and I haven't actually done one since then. And I always said the next one that I do, the next giveaway that I do will be the 10,000 one. I think I probably know what I'm already going to do for that. But we've got a little way to go yet. I think I'm about 9,500, so there's a little way to go yet. I've got a little bit of time to think about that yet, but I don't know. What do you think? I'm just thinking of making stuff to give away, but I don't know. Maybe you can let me know if you'd like that. Or would you prefer... Sorry, I keep disappearing. Or would you prefer, I don't know, maybe vouchers or stuff. It's always quite difficult because I'm a resin caster. I can't send stuff, can't send the resin to America. And House of Resin, you know, do offer me resin to give away, but I can only give it to the UK. So, you know, for America, I was thinking, what could I do for them? And I may be thinking that some pen kits and some pen brushes, or make something, you know, but I haven't truly decided yet because it is quite difficult to, I just can't send the resin to America. I have thought about trying to contact Alumilite and seeing if they could help me out with something like that, and maybe I will consider doing that, but they may never get back to me. Right, I'll put these colours away. Shove it on here. This room is a bit of a disaster today. Anyway, cleared enough room to get a video sorted for you. So these will take quite a while now. So yeah, what suggestions for projects next year? I know a lot of you want bandsaw boxes. There's definitely one coming up. It'll be very, very soon. It may even be next week. In fact, it pretty probably could be next week. So that's definitely going to be happening. Do you get sick of seeing pen blanks being cast? I don't know. It's quite difficult sometimes because that's probably the majority of what I do is pen blank casting. And making little bowls. I have got some really beautiful wood that I've had sitting here for a year, still too scared to use it. That will probably end up being used a little bit this year. So what am I hoping for this year? Yeah, Harnell Media, really kindly, Steve from Harnell Media helped me out with the website. Now the website is live. I am struggling because I've had a website before, but I had lots of time because I didn't work, didn't have YouTube, and I didn't have a small business. So I had lots and lots of time to sit and study it and learn it, because that type of technology, it don't come easy to me. I have to really work hard to suss stuff out. So I am just about there, but there's a few bits on it I'm not happy with at the minute. But Steve is brilliant. Get in touch. He's been trying to offer me help, and I'm quite stubborn and tend to not take help very much. I tend to want to do everything myself. But I have decided, and I've been in touch with Steve, so I will be back in touch with him, because it has to be fully running with everything that I've got on there. I will continue to keep Etsy. You can't just stop a good line of business like that. It would be foolish, I think, at this stage. But they will be going up onto my website, and the links that I leave at the bottom of the videos will be for the website. And then I will monitor the stocks from both. I think there probably will be some special ones that will just go on the website. I'm also going to be starting a blog on the website, and it'll be some more information into what I'm doing. So there'll be like blogs on moulds, on resin, so all the information will be there. So even for people who don't watch my YouTube channel, they'll have chance to read all the information on there, and it'll be updated regular. And also lists of, because I get asked a lot of times, what do you use for this and what do you use for that. So I'm hoping to get this all out in blogs. Ideally, I would like a blog at least 2 a month, but I don't know if that's going to be possible until I start it. But that's all going to be there. That's a plan for that. And I've got some other plans, but I don't know if they'll come to light this year. But yeah, I've got lots of plans to give as much information as I can. I do get asked why I tell everybody everything, but if people hadn't told me, how would have I learnt it? So that's the way I look at it. People on YouTube or on the internet have taught me how to do pen blank casting, the temperatures, the equipment, all sorts of stuff. So I want to give that information back out. It's not secret. It just is. Then maybe sometimes I'll cast a blank and I'll not put a video up for a little while, but often that's because I've not quite sussed a blank out, and it doesn't work. So for that reason I haven't put it out. But I have some major plans for the house, because as I've spoken, if you ever followed the journey in woodworking, I have a lot of work to do in this house as well. And this year I need to put a kitchen in, I need to build my bed, and this room has become too small. I have far more stuff than I could fit in the room, but I waste a lot of space. So this year there's going to be all round worktop. There's going to be, I'm probably going to put different areas in where I can hang cameras so that we can have different views in here, and I don't have to have the tripod. I'll be able to just click it up onto something. I'll be able to use a certain area. I'm going to have a place set up that's going to be permanently set up ready for the photographs as well, because often I'll cast in the evening. I'll come in at 7 at night or whatever. I'll start casting, I'll finish at 9, I have to clear away, and then I'll be taking the photos from yesterday's stuff on the evening. And it's just a lot of footering about, whereas I could have just leave the casting table with all the casting stuff on it, and then, you know, finish the projects from the day before and just photograph them in another area. So the plan is to have worktop all the way round, and all the way back down that side, and underneath it all storage. I have plenty of storage containers, but all these plastic bits will come out and be able to slot underneath. So that's the plan for here, and I think that will make much better use of the space that I have, because a lot of it is really wasted at the minute. So that should help. We'll be filming that because I'm actually going to be doing resin tops. There will be some that will be HDPE for the casting area, so that resin will wipe off it. So that'll be HDPE areas, but the rest of it will be resin topped So yeah, I'll be definitely filming that because I'm going to be building my own worktops from MDF and priming and colouring them. The kitchen, there will be some bits in there because the splashback, I don't want upper units in my kitchen. I only want bottom units. It's quite a good sized kitchen. It's bigger than this room, but I only want base ones. But splashbacks, they're going to be resin, so those will be filmed as well. So you'll see that going into there. I pretty much know what I'm doing in both rooms, and that will be starting within weeks. I'm ready to go virtually on that. I've just got to get everything delivered out, and the bed will also be done pretty quickly. I hope to have all 3 rooms complete by the summer. That's the plan. So there'll be no big builds happening this year other than those 3. I'm not going to film me fitting the kitchen because I'm going to fit it myself, but I'm not going to film that because I am nowhere near professional, and there's plenty of other videos out there. The Carpenter's Daughter's just done a really good video, and she's got kitchen videos and stuff like that, so I'd probably recommend going to her because she's really looked into it all. So anyway, we better check the temperatures of these, and I shall come back just as I'm pouring in. Okay, so let's get them poured in. We're just about there now. I think this ones are closer than the small ones. The resin, you can feel it getting quite hot in these pots now. It gets a bit thicker. Yeah, this ones are ready to go. I think we'll do a bit of white there first. Scrape out. This is the point now where I just hope that the tape holes are ready in it. This will be a future project. I'll video this one. Now my pressure pot's over that way, so once I've poured these, that will really be the end of the video. So we get these done. I love this mix of colours. I don't know, it's the middle of winter coming, although we're still very warm here, so it just adds a bit of cheer to your day, don't it? A bit of colour. With the honeycomb, it's great because the way it fills in the honeycomb, it just fills it out in layers. It gives it a really good look at the end. Just measured that about right. I might better get this last one poured in. What I use at the bottom here is just rubble sacks. The stuff peels off it pretty easy, so it works out quite well. Now this particular blank I probably won't stir. It looks better without being stirred when it's taken out the mould. So these blanks will be going up onto Etsy this weekend. I probably, because I'm still working, I work, obviously the job that I have, you don't get particular days off with the bank holidays, which really doesn't bother me anyway. So I'm working right through, I've worked right through New Year, and I'm not off until the beginning of next week. Right, I shall get these in a pressure pot and I'll come back in a second. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. A little bit different, the fact that I'm live casting and yakking at the same time. You'll find there's no music in this video because I just wanted to go over a few things and yak away like I used to do in the old videos. This won't be for everybody, and that's fine. Normal videos will resume next Wednesday, when will be really my first project of the year. I will maybe at the end of next week's video post the pictures up of these for you on the end, and if you're on Instagram or follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see them coming up on there at the weekend. So the last thing I want to say is thank you to all of you out there, because none of this would have been possible without you. All those old, new ones, whoever you are, thank you very much for everything, and Happy New Year. I hope it's a healthy one for you.